Sit down, browser. I am the authority. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create your own certificate authority and issue certificates. Simple and fast. I'm Garrett, and this is TheFatRat. I created a GitHub repository for you so you can easily start your own certificate authority and issue certificates for your devices and services in your local network. Also, we're going to be using this for the cluster that we're building. Now, let's get started. In order to get started, let's hop over to GitHub to our repository. So let's jump to our browser. Here we are. And we're going to jump to github.com/ggrtimmer/certificates. Now, this is the GitHub repository, and this one allows you to quickly set up your own certificate authority and generate certificates. So what we're going to do is we're simply going to go to code and we're going to copy the URL because we are going to clone it. Now, jump over to your terminal and we're going to clone it. Git clone, paste the URL, and here we go. So we got our repository and now we need to set it up. So the best way what you can do is open this in Visual Studio Code. So let's do it right now. So let's jump to Visual Studio Code. Here we are. And we are gonna open this repository. And here we go, Turing Pie and certificates. Let's open it. Now, the best part about this repository is it actually comes with a development container. And as you can see right now, it pops up and asks, do we want to reopen in the container? Yes, but we're not going to do it straight up right now. The reason is we need to do a few basic configuration to get everything set up. So what we're going to do is we're jumping back to the web page and we're going to read the README I left for you guys. So let's jump to the web browser and here we have. So basically what you need to do is you need to install some dependencies. Now the best part is if you switch to the dev container, this will be done for you. But what you do need to do is you need to copy a host.yaml to the root for the inventory. We need to set up the default values, and we need to set up a basic certificate. Now, let's do that right now. It should not, don't worry, it's all very easy. So we're gonna jump to Visual Studio Code. And we are taking, .config. We need to copy the defaults to config. And we need to copy the search to config. Cool. And we need to copy hosts to the root. Paste. Well, that's easy. Now, what we are left with is we need to make some basic configurations. Well, we can do that either way, but now we can open it in our dev container. So for Windows and Linux, Ctrl-Shift-P. For macOS, it's Command-Shift-P. And you're gonna go with rebuild and reopen in container. So this should open the repository in your container. And as you can see right now, it's installing also all the dependencies. So we are gonna wait for a few seconds for this to continue and it should be finishing pretty quickly, I hope. In the meantime, it should be done already. Yeah, it's done. And it says press any key to close this terminal. Okay, enter. Okay, we're done. we're almost ready to issue our certificates, our certificate authority. So don't worry, it's not that much work actually. And the best part about this repository, because it was built with Ansible, you can actually update the inventory and have it uh, deploy the certificates you generated to your servers. So that is not what we're going to do right now. What we're going to do is we are going to go with the defaults. We're going to make some changes here, and we are going to have the certificate. Well, the certificate, that default example that I provided, is for Vault. And the reason is that we're going to use this to set up our certificate authority and our certificates for HashiCorp Vault, which we're going to use in our cluster. So let's set up the defaults first. Now here's what I advise you do. You can simply change the info of the certificates, put in your locality if you want to. Now I'm quickly gonna jump to my other view, but let's run this config through. So basically root target allows you to where you want to deploy this certificate on your server if you're going to use the deploy option. The basic values about the intermediate certificates. There are two actually, and a chain. Now basically what this default setup does, it creates a root certificate authority and creates two intermediate certificates under there, one for local and one for K3S. That allows you to have a separate certificate for all your services in your local network and have a different intermediate certificate for all the services provided by your cluster. Now what I'm going to do, I am going to make a few changes to this, but I am not going to show that. That's private. So I am switching to my view. This is email. Don't worry, it's done very quickly. I'm going to put this here. I'm putting in the city, province, and cool. So that is done. And we're jumping back now. And then we are going to configure our certificate. Now, in my previous episode about how to start, about cluster design, I gave some quick details about what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to keep this intact. We're going to use vault.local. Yeah. I'm going to make the vault actually part of the K3S because it's part of the cluster. We're going to have it signed by the K3S intermediate certificate. We're going to change the domain here to star to asterisk.k3s and vault.k3s fine. But here's the thing, we're going to sign this for all my nodes, which is gonna be, that is node 1.local. Yes, those are the nodes actually. However, I got a few more nodes, which I'm just gonna put in. So that's node 4, node 5, node 6, node 7, and node 8. Localhost, yes, because we want Vault also to be working with the certificate when it has a local connection. Now we need to put in IP addresses. So 127.0.01 is localhost. These addresses is actually node 5, 6, 7, and 8 in my network. And node 1 to 4 are in a different network. So I'm putting that in. And that's going to be 10.10.0.22. 10.10.0.23 and 10.10.0.24. That's node 1 to 4. 5, 6, 7, 8 local host. all the nodes with their DNS name. We're going to use vault.k3s. And we're going to use wildcard *vault.k3s. And that's also the common name. Okay, this looks all pretty good. So now we're ready actually. This is it. Now the best part about this repository is you can use this structure. More information about it is in the README. And you can actually have one configuration file, issue multiple certificates, client, server, etc. So it's pretty handy because it's also done very fast. So basically all we have to do is we have here a run script, run.sh, and this will run the entire playbook to generate our certificates. So let's issue them. And here it goes. Well, it's generating the root certificate, private keys, it's generating the intermediate certificates, and here we go. It's done. Cool. So that should mean that in our search directory, and here we go. Perfect. So let me zoom in a little bit. Here we have our search directory. Here are the generated results of our entire certificate authority with our chain, etc. Everything is here. This follows, by the way, the OpenSSL standard. So we got serial, we got the indexes, the certificate authority config. The private directory is where the root key for the certificate authority is being kept. And under search, we have our root certificate. And we have our folder with vault.k3s. And here we have our generated certificates. Awesome. And under intermediate, you will see you will have a K3s and a local folder with the same kind of tree under there because the intermediate certificate is here. The private key, the certificate, the chain. As you can see, this is the public chain for the root certificate plus the local certificate. And you can use this straight up in any kind of service. Here we have the chain, the root certificate for the K3s intermediate certificate. It's private key. If you need it, you should not, because you basically only need the chain and the certificate itself. So for Vault, we're going to use the key, we're going to use the certificate, and we are going to use the chain of the K3s because that also includes the root. And that's it. So this repository allows you to quickly set up your own certificate authority for all your services in either your cluster or in your local network. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment below, like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And I see you in my next video. I am Garrett, and this is TheFatRat.